Hello, and welcome to this video about the many implications and impacts of examinations within the primary school environment. My interest for research in this area came about after spending time in both a Year 3 and Year 6 class whilst on my work placement. Well, I realised that Year 6 children were being given a much more exam-structured curriculum in comparison to the children in Year 3. This led me to want to investigate the impacts of examinations on the learning experiences of children and to separate and further categorise these implications. To give this video a context, Shirok believes that the main aim of examinations is to increase the standards within education, with results being published to improve the standard and quality of teaching taking place. And in addition, Clark believes that examinations are a useful tool for tracking progress. The first area that I plan to look at within this video is one of the main benefits of examinations, that systematic assessment can be used in order to reveal children's individual strengths and weaknesses, thus identifying and diagnosing problems. Consequently from this, the teacher involved can find out what additional learning needs to take place, and this can be highlighted by levelling and marking, as stated by Wintle and Harrison. Richardson agrees with this statement, believing that tests serve as a baseline to make sure primary school pupils are making enough progress. In addition to this, the Department for Education 2011 found that when surveyed, people believed that examinations were positive in the way that they allowed for a national standard that can be compared amongst schools, also allowing schools to identify those who were performing well and those who were performing not so well. However, this by no means that examinations are good, and this leads me on to present counter-evidence against the use of examinations, centred around the negative experiences that children are exposed to. One explanation for these negative experiences can be transactional models of anxiety performance, and Endler and Parker believe that anxiety is developed as an individual's interactions between the individual's disposition and the threat that is perceived of the situation being encountered. Subsequently, because of this, Key Stage 2 children are particularly vulnerable when taking tests, as they lack experience, causing this feeling of the unknown, according to Connors et al. There are also many later consequences experienced by children as a result of examinations. For example, Gibbs and Simpson state that a poor result may damage a student's self-efficacy, because a grade is likely to be interpreted as an indication of a person's personal ability or worth, and primarily tells them where they stand in reflection. Leading on from this, children's learning is also affected in the way that it can be argued that examinations narrow and reduce the curriculum in terms of breadth and balance, according to Hopkins. Ridgway and Harding believe that a reason behind this is that teachers teach to the test, because they know they will be judged by attainment levels. As a result of teaching to the test, Connors believes that there has been a development of non-transferable learning or shallow learning, according to Clark, which is not as valid as deep learning. Ofsted 2009 also observed that schools are putting too much emphasis on tests, especially in Year 6, consequently restricting time for activities that challenge and are of interest to students, thus depriving children of what they should actually be receiving. However, the Department of Education 2011 believes that the positive academic results do not have to be achieved at the expense of a narrowed curriculum, as there have been research to suggest that primary schools are good at promoting academic progress whilst achieving the benchmark of quality results. Furthermore, theorists such as Wintle and Harrison have found that assessments can be used in order to aid teachers when selecting future teaching content, thus making a strong argument against those teachers who claim to be overworked. To draw this video to a close, I've established that the viewpoint that examinations within the primary school do not have a positive impact. A great example of this put forth by the National Union of Teachers is that it has been reported that children in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland who do not have a national testing system tend to do the same, if not better, as the pupils of English schools. In addition, I believe that the stress that the children are subjected to at a young age is possibly more damaging than good. And I agree with Drummond that as educators there is a responsibility to be aware of the power to harm and the power to do good within the emotional domain when assessing students. However, it is also important to acknowledge that there are also benefits to the primary school assessment, especially in Year 6, as Neil espouses that tests have a benefit for preparing students for secondary school.